DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey there, and welcome to DocTalk today. We're going to have a great show. We have Dr. Kevin Hill here, and he's going to talk about cattle health management system, which is at the website www.hospitalpen.com. We're going to talk about a new record-keeping system that you can use for your farm and ranch that's going to be a great value and a great tool for you to use.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk and welcome to the show, Dr. Kevin Hill.
Hey Dan, nice to be here.
Thanks to be here. Dr. Hill is the Technical Services Manager for Merck Animal Health. He's a veterinarian. He's practiced veterinary medicine for many years. He's from Kaysville, and pretty excited to have you here on the show. Thanks for taking the time out of your schedule and being here, and really excited about what we're going to talk about today, which is something you have a passion for, is the records and things that we do to keep track of things in stocker operations and feedlots and beyond.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to have a chance to get some of this information out, so I'm glad to do it.
You bet. So talk to me a little bit about why should we be keeping records? What are some of the reasons that you know, ranchers or feedlot operators, sometimes, you know, we talk about just needing the back of the glove. Well,
yeah.
What are some of the reasons we get beyond that?
Well, size is one of those things. You know, the glove used to work pretty good till you ran out of space, but in this day, really from the 30,000 foot view, we have a lot of people watching what we're doing, and our food consuming public really demands that we document that we're good stewards, that we're treating animals right, and that we're, especially this day and age, a lot of talk about antibiotic use. And so if we don't have the records to show that we're judicious about that use, that we're being supervised professionally by a veterinarian, et cetera, then we're in for some criticism.
You bet. And we talked about that, some of the terms that come up, you know, the VCPR and avoiding residues. Those would be some things that are definitely in the media and something that are being scrutinized by consumers.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, when you get down to the practical things that we need today, that veterinary client-patient relationship is a key thing to veterinarians. They have to demonstrate that they have a working relationship with a producer. They know their animals and they're intimately involved so that they're in a position to make those judgments about antibiotic use. And then for the producer, we want to make sure that we protect the food supply, that we don't ever have a violated residue from a drug that's been used in treatment. And so keeping track of that is extremely important for producers these days.
Right. And so when we talk about that, you know, if we don't measure it, you can't improve it or can't change it, right?
Right.
And so in this kind of viewpoint of constant improvement in our food supply and producing beef, it's something that you're working hard towards bringing some tools.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things. Yeah, if you've got the records, then you got the basis to start measuring something. Maybe you want to measure how effective is my treatment. Maybe you want to measure how much antibiotic am I using. I'd like to reduce that. I'd like to be more socially conscious about that. So yeah, you're right. Until you have sort of a retrievable database that you can go back to, then you're able to start doing some of those things.
Awesome. Well, let's take a break. Folks, it's going to be a great show. Dr. Kevin Hill, Kaysville, Utah. We're going to talk about some things that you can do, go on the web and utilize starting tomorrow to help keep records in your operation. More from DocTalk after these messages.
This Prevention Works Minute, brought to you by Beringer Ingelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hey folks, welcome to our Prevention Works Minute. This is an outstanding segment, and I'm really glad that we're getting to do this when we talk about preventative medicine for cattle. Biosecurity is important, and a good key component to that is vaccination. When we vaccinate an animal, one thing you need to understand is that they do not work immediately. Matter of fact, it takes 7 to 14 days before the animal, once it's vaccinated, to actually start having an immune response that produces antibodies that are specific for a disease in which we would vaccinate them for. So if I vaccinate a calf for IBR, it's 7 to 14 days before that animal is protected or has antibody to neutralize IBR virus. Once we get out there to 14 to 21 days, the body has memory cells for IBR. That's why we give them a booster, and we get that booster in our titer response. Vaccines don't work immediately, but they're really good for prevention.
Are your cows practical or profitable? If you want them to be both, then come to the Dale Banks Angus Bull Sale Saturday, November 18th near Eureka, Kansas. Selling 130 hard-working, balanced straight bulls developed in the rugged Flint Hills. For 113 years, the Perriers have been providing practical, profitable genetics to cattlemen nationwide. Join us November 18th or bid online at liveauctions.tv. Call the Perriers at 620-583-4305 or dalebanks.com.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Kevin Hill, who's the Technical Services Manager for Merck Animal Health. And first things first, we want to thank Merck. Has been a great sponsor of DocTalk from the beginning. And it's been a great partnership, and we really enjoy working with you and your company. But folks, Dr. Hill brings a wealth of information as a veterinarian, someone who sees a lot of cattle, has done a lot of work in a lot of different herds out in the Utah area and beyond. And this is kind of something you've been working on, and now we get to roll it out and let people use it. And let's explain a little bit about this program that you all have developed.
Yeah, this came about because we saw a need as our salespeople would go out and interact with customers. We've got that sort of middle level feeder, is where we were initially targeting, that feeds enough cattle that they've got to have records, and they were trying to keep them in a notebook or on the back of their glove or wherever, and it was just getting away from them. They just couldn't find the records they needed when they wanted to and weren't very durable. So we decided that if we could build a simple to use electronic tool that they could go back and find information when they needed it, that would be a big value to the people we serve.
You bet. Well, tell me, what is the name of your program and how do we find it? Just kind of kickstart us off.
Yeah, it's called the Cattle Treatment Manager. On the web site, it's www.hospitalpen.com. So it's fairly easy
I love
to
that
remember.
name. Yeah. And kind of just then explain in a nutshell what this program does, and then we'll start getting into some of the details as we go.
Yeah. What it really does, what we hope it does, is it brings veterinarians and producers together more. Maybe that's virtual and electronic at times, but at least we get more veterinary input and oversight into what the producer's doing, and the producer has to worry less and less about remembering what his instructions were, and it's all laid out for him. So the veterinarian helps design the inputs, the instructions that what each treatment is going to be, and then the producer, it's automated from there for him.
So in other words, we're going to have the veterinarian working with the producer, and obviously when you say virtual today, everything's virtual. I went out front and asked the young lady for a piece of paper. She had to go through, ask somebody where it was. You know, I mean, nobody has paper and pen anymore, and so when we start to think about that, it's right on the direction of where we need to go, and I commend you for developing this, and it's free of charge, right?
Yeah, just an added service for our customers. Yep.
Yep. So when we start to think about this, and we'll move forward here in the show, folks, go to www.hospitalpen.com, Cattle Treatment Manager, and when we come back from break, Dr. Hill, I want to talk about, the importance of setting up protocols, how these records get to their veterinarian, and then how we can use it to make better decisions.
That'll be good.
I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you watching the show. Folks, more after these messages.
Are your cows practical or profitable? If you want them to be both, then come to the Dale Banks Angus Bull Sale Saturday, November 18th near Eureka, Kansas. Selling 130 hard-working, balanced straight bulls developed in the rugged Flint Hills. For 113 years, the Perriers have been providing practical, profitable genetics to cattlemen nationwide. Join us November 18th or bid online at liveauctions.tv. Call the Perriers at 620-583-4305 or dalebanks.com.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Do your cattle struggle with pink eye, BRD, or another disease? Contact Newport Laboratories for a customized solution. Our custom-made vaccines are produced using the specific diseases found in your area. These USDA licensed vaccines offer potential cost savings on vaccine and labor. Contact your veterinarian or Newport Laboratories the next time your cattle are in need of a custom solution. Newport Laboratories custom-made vaccine, because every situation is different.
In the springtime, cattlemen need to be thinking of preventing important diseases like pink eye. Pink eye prevention includes management factors like good fly control, pasture management, along with a good vaccination program. Eyesight from AgriLabs has broad efficacy coverage as its origin from 8 different field isolates of Moraxella bovis. It is safe, smooth, highly syringeable, safe with young calves and pregnant cows, and provides superior protection against pink eye.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Kevin Hill, and we're talking about the Cattle Treatment Manager, which is at www.hospitalpen.com, provided by Merck Animal Health. And Dr. Hill, talk to me a little bit about then, what all is involved. First of all, what does it help me do on a day-to-day basis?
The first thing it really does is a resource that records your processing and treatment protocols.
Okay.
So with the help of your veterinarian, you input the processing strategies, the vaccinations you want to have maybe on arrival or 14 days in, et cetera, and also the treatment protocol. So what do I want to do if I have a respiratory case? What do I want to do if I have a foot rot case? So those are all set up ahead of time. Your veterinarian has that input, and then all the dosages are calculated based on the weight of the animal. The meat withdrawal times are automatically in there, so all that kind of decision making or points where we could make a math error or forget something, hopefully we've taken care of that. So once you get the protocols established, then we're ready to go to work.
And I think that when we talk about protocols, one of the things producers might not understand, they may be sitting there thinking a bottle of an antibiotic is a bottle of an antibiotic, and regardless of the brand or whatever, I'm just going to use this and that'll cover whatever ailment, if it's a pink eye or a pneumonia or a foot rot. But there are some legalities on whether or not we can use these products, and having that VCPR to set these protocols up is vitally important.
Absolutely, yeah. From both ends, the producer needs to be following adequate instructions and getting professional advice, but a veterinarian, like you say, is responsible to be giving the correct advice. And so there are specific indications for different products, and so that's really the key, is that we can eliminate that miscommunication that comes, because it's detailed. There's a lot of stuff to remember, so
you bet.
I want to get away from having to remember.
Well, this will help them, and obviously help with preventing a residue. We don't want to wind up on the FDA's list as violative residues. Talk to me a little bit about then on the back side of this. So I enter my data, and I get that in there, and I'm using it for residue avoidance and using it to keep my protocol straight. Now, what do I see on the back side of this as far as what kind of reports are coming back?
So there are all kinds of built-in reports here, and it also, just as a side note, so I don't forget, it can be downloaded into an Excel spreadsheet, and so you can customize. But basically, we're going to keep track of what reasons you're pulling animals for, what you're treating for. So it'll give a percent of a certain lot will be pulled for respiratory disease or for foot rot or for pink eye. It'll calculate your treatment success rate, your case fatality rate, some of those things that you can measure over time and be able to improve. If you, with your veterinary consultant there, is going to say, this could be better. As you track that over time, you can measure whether or not it really is getting better.
Well, I think this is some great information. Again, Cattle Treatment Manager at www.hospitalpen.com. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the backside of this program and then how you can use it with your veterinarian to make decisions to improve the animal health of your herd.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
We are Mike and
Martha
Armitage here at the A-Bar Ranch, Claremore, Oklahoma. We have a cow-calf production company, and we also have a marketing company. We have entertained groups brought to us by the Beef Checkoff, such as South Korean media that covered our operation and brought the good news back to South Korea.
That was a really neat experience, in that we got to have young people from another country that we got to experience a lot of different things in their culture, but got to share our culture too.
We live on the Squaw Creek Ranch. Here is a division of the A-Bar Ranch.
As a wife and a mother, and also with my background in more of a health field, I look at just the nutritional value, and it's great that the Beef Checkoff offers that kind of information to the consumers that are out there.
We both are proud to come from agricultural, more specifically ranching backgrounds.
My dad is a part of the Beef Checkoff board, and so the Beef Checkoff has been something that we promote and that we support what it has to offer.
Not everybody who's in agriculture is tech savvy on Facebook and through social media. Most people in the city happen to be, and they are very disconnected from our day-to-day routines, and that's one thing that makes me proud of the Beef Checkoff, them going to bat for us. From those who aren't necessarily anti-ag, but just simply don't know and they aren't getting the information.
As producers, we're strong supporters of that and hope that many of you out there realize all of the different things that the Beef Checkoff brings to the table for us as producers.
It's easy to spot the man who uses Synanthic. With lower volume and less waste, Synanthic steps up your deworming routine. Get more deworming with less dewormer at Synanthic.com.
Beringer Ingelheim Vet Medica Inc. knows the importance of beef quality assurance and asks you to step up and get certified. Go to bqa.org for details. This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Kevin Hill, who's from Kaysville, Utah, and he's a veterinarian and also the technical services manager for Merck Animal Health. Wealth of bovine medicine knowledge, someone that's very active in the Academy of Veterinary Consultants, AABP, and beyond. And this just has brought a tremendous tool to us, and we thank you and Merck for doing that. So when we go into cattle treatment manager, and we were talking a little bit about treatment success, case fatality rate, it also then can be shared with your veterinarian, right?
Right. Your veterinarian, your nutritionist, anybody that you want to have access to the records, you can define who can log on and look at your reports. So yeah, if your veterinarian is 100 miles away and he hasn't got time to get out there this afternoon, he can log on while he's having supper and review your past treatments for the last 4 or 5 days, look at the epidemiological curve and see when that outbreak occurred and whether it's still going hot and strong or whether you're on the backside. So those are some of the ways that they can allow access and remotely.
And for you and I mean, we deal with a lot of feed yards and a lot of stocker operations. Just being able to have that snapshot, because what you might be thinking is going on in a day-to-day when you're muddled down in it and you're just doctoring and it's the fall and you're doctoring sick cattle, you may not have a real good feeling until you sit down and actually see that curve or see what the morbidity graphs or mortality graphs look like.
Absolutely. A couple other things that I think are valuable to the producers especially is that it will track costs. And so as you build your list of drugs, you put a cost to you on there, and so every time you use a dose, it calculates what that is, and so you can see what individual costs are, cost per pan over time. That's valuable. And then also an inventory function where if you want to reorder when you're down to 6 bottles of vaccine, you can it'll print a report of what's due to order. So there's some features in there that make life easier once you get used to using them.
Absolutely, and that's what we're getting back to is, everybody's got an app or built in, and to understand where you're at on inventory and you don't wind up getting those 3 loads of calves in and then you look and there's no vaccine, just having that ability to not have to put a processing day off or 2 days off and getting vaccine in those cattle sooner might be the difference in a certain amount of morbidity and mortality.
Yeah, absolutely. Timeliness, accuracy, being able to retrieve records, those are all elements that are really important.
Yeah. Well, thank you a million for being on the show today, and thank you so much for bringing the tool forward for the industry.
My pleasure. Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it. Folks, thanks for watching DocTalk, and if you want to know more about what we do at DocTalk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Remember to always work with your local veterinarian. We really appreciate you watching the show. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and we'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.